You are watching Fugitive Red Eye, and I'd just like to start out this video by saying a couple things about it. Number one, this is all just my opinion, so obviously you're probably going to have some disagreements with me here. But nonetheless, that's just how it is, so, it's my opinion, and, it's basically just a way to recommend some series that I think is really good to you guys. I mean, I don't know who else is watching this, I doubt very many people are going to see it, but, I just want to talk about some series that I think were really great, and in order to basically decide what can be on this list and what cannot, I've decided that to consider as modern, it has to have been done within the last decade, so 2010 and up. Well, not the last decade, obviously, that's only 6 years that it's been since then, but within the current decade, so since 2010. So, that being said, I also am not going to include any movies or anything that is a continuation or reboot of a previously existing anime series. If it's a new adaptation of a manga that was not currently adapted, that's okay. That is okay to be on the list. But if it's a reboot of a previous anime, then no. So, coming in at number 10, this is going to piss off a few people because it's a pretty popular series. So the fact that it's all the way down at number 10 is probably going to piss off some people. Number 9 is also probably going to piss people off as well. But anyways, at number 10 we have Sword Art Online. That's a series in which a game is created, the virtual reality game, and the people get trapped inside. So if you die in the game, you die for real. And the only way to get out is if someone beats the final boss by getting to the final level. And it's a really good series. The reason it's so high up on the list, though, is because it's only, golden for, the first arc. And that's, the first half of the first season. Anything after that goes a little bit downhill. I mean, it's still good, but it's not as good. And honestly, I think they cater a lot to cliches because they have, cat ears and stuff. Anything that has cat ears in it really pisses me off. I don't know why I have such a hatred for it, but I also don't know why anyone likes it. And, it's a decent series, and another thing I do want to say is that this list, I unfortunately won't be featuring any clips of the animes for a couple of reasons. Number one, copyright strikes and things like that. I've never gotten a copyright strike, and I don't intend to. But also, due to technological limitations, I'm not going to be able to put any clips in, although I will leave links in the description. Anyway, so that brings us down to number 9. Now, a lot of people are going to be pissed that this is all the way under number 9, and honestly, I was debating whether to put this at number 10 or Sword Art at number 10, but number 9, we got Attack on Titan. Now, before you go and start trying to hunt me down and kill me, I do want to just explain why it is so high up on the list as well. Attack on Titan is a decent series. It's actually really good, but there's a problem with it, and that problem is the fan base. It's far too hyped up. Everyone acts like it's this new revolutionary thing, but really, it's just another anime. I mean, it's a great series and all, but all the overexposure and hype has kind of killed it for me. I mean, that doesn't make it any less of a good series. It doesn't shine as much as some of the other ones on this list to me. And that being said, that's really what that boils down to. So, sorry if that's one of your favorite series, but hey, it's number 9 on my list of top 10 modern animes, so that's something. Now we move on to number 8, which is one that I don't know if many people have heard of. I'm not sure quite how to pronounce it. I think it's Btoom. It's spelled B-T-O-O-O-M exclamation point. It's about a game. It's a video game, right? The Btoom is, but it's not about a game, the thing itself. It's these people who played the game. Well, people are trying to recreate the game in real life by putting these people on an island to survive by pitting them against each other with explosives. It's a pretty good series, very reminiscent of things like Battle Royale or the Hunger Games. It's a decent series, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. After that, we get on to number 7, which is Psycho-Pass, which is another really good, and honestly, I don't think this series gets enough attention, but maybe that's a good thing, because hype can kill something. But anyways, Right, so due to difficulties with Upload Studio, the rest of this will be filmed live action, so yeah, fun stuff. But anyway, as I was saying, Psycho-Pass is a really good series, and it's about a dystopian future in which crime is determined by your state of mind. Instead of arresting people for committing crimes, they arrest them for the potential to commit crimes by scanning their Psycho-Pass, which tells them how mentally stable they are. It's a really good series, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Up next, we have number 6, Shiki. Shiki is a great series. It unruined vampires for me. Basically, what it's about is it's this desolate village in which the town starts getting killed off by vampires, and it's actually really, really good. Like, I was not expecting it to be as good. But yeah, I would definitely recommend you check out Shiki. And pretty much all I have to say about that. Yeah, with Shiki anyway. Up next, we got number 5, Dead Man Wonderland, which I've mentioned a couple times before, but I'm going to mention it again. It is an amazing series, although it has a couple things that put it only at number 5. Number 1, it is incredibly censored, and number 2, the anime version is unfinished. It only goes about halfway through the manga. So if you watch through this, I definitely recommend you also read the manga, because the anime cliffhanger ending really is dissatisfying if you don't read the rest of the manga. I recommend starting the manga at the beginning, because there are quite a few changes in the anime as well. But at the same time, this series wasn't as big in Japan as it could have been, which is part of why it's no longer continued, which is really disappointing, but it is what it is. And as far as what the series is about, it's about a big prison where prisoners fight in these games, like for amusement, for people to watch, and they, it's like games to the death and things like that. And the audience doesn't know that it's actual death rather than just special effects. And this kid, Ganta, his entire class gets killed, and he gets framed for it, and he gets put in this prison and has to compete for his life in these games. But yeah, it's actually really good, and I would definitely recommend you watch it. Alrighty, well now we're getting down to the home stretch. Now we are on Another, which is another horror series. It's really good. It's about, this thing they call the Calamity, which originates from this student dying like a decade ago, and then every year since, people start dying unless they pretend another student doesn't exist, and things like that. I don't want to go too much into detail, but it's a really good series, and it has kind of a mindfuck at the end. And I also have briefly mentioned this series before as well. It's a great series, and if you like horror, and you like really good stories, then this is definitely one I would recommend. Okay, on to number 3, Brynhildr in the Darkness. This is an amazing series. It's by the guy who made Elfen Lied, Lin Okamoto. And it's a very similar type series to Elfen Lied, not quite as good, obviously, but it has a lot of great scenes in it. And from what I've heard, the manga is actually better, but I haven't read the manga yet, so can't really speak on that part. But it's really gory, for one, and it has a lot of nudity in it. So if you like those things, make sure you get the Blu-ray or DVD, because that's uncensored. If you watch it on Crunchyroll, it's horribly censored, and there are times when the entire screen is blacked out. So I would recommend getting the home release if you plan on watching this series. It's really good. It's about these chicks that have these powers, which I know doesn't sound like anything special, but it's executed in a really good way, and has a lot of gore. Has a really good storyline about this kid whose friend died when he was a kid, and then he meets this chick that looks exactly like her. And without giving any spoilers away, that's pretty much all I can say about it. Up next, we have Tokyo Ghoul, which that's a picture of there. It's a series about this race of people, well, kind of like, they're basically people. They're like undead type things. They're called ghouls, and they feed on humans. they're not zombies or anything like that. I fucking detest zombies. They're actually, like, I don't really know exactly what they are. They're kind of monsters, but they feed on humans, and the main character is a human who gets ghoul organs transplanted into him and becomes one, so it's a really good series, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's one of those series that it leaves open to interpretation who is the heroes and who is the villains, so I would definitely recommend it. Alrighty, and for number 1, unfortunately I don't have anything to represent it here. I don't have like a DVD of it or any pictures of it. But the series is called Future Diary, or as I prefer to call it by its Japanese name, Mirai Nikki, just because that sounds cooler. But as far as that goes, it's a series, again, a survival-type series where people are competing for their lives. This time they're competing to be the next god, basically. It's really good, and it has this one chick that's this crazy stalker chick, and she's one of the main characters, and then it has this other guy that's just kind of a normal kid, but, you know, following with anime cliches, he becomes cooler as the series goes on. It's one of those cliches that is a good cliche, so it's a really good series, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. That's pretty much it.